So then, you get a job in a fast food joint.
Okay, Torvald, fill the napkin dispensers on all tables with numbers divisible by a factor of 3.
All right, welcome back to another School Principal Reacts. This is Brandon coming to you with a reaction to an episode of Hey Arnold that you all have asked about for quite some time. Even from the beginning of me taking a look at Hey Arnold, it's called Tutoring Torvald. And I'm guessing that this is him. This is a random still frame from the episode. It looks like pretty mean bully. I'm guessing that he's going to need some tutoring. This should be pretty interesting. I don't know anything more than that about it other than what this one frame suggests, but I'm looking forward to getting into it here with you and reacting to it for the first time. Just a reminder, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, check out the button below and subscribe and turn your notifications on if you can, so that way you don't miss any of my future videos. Let's get into the episode.
1 step, 2 step, 3 step,
Here we go.
4, up and back.
9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 8 is...
72.
Man, how do you remember this stuff?
Yeah, you memorize it. That's how you remember it. I remember distinctly. I think it was third grade where I was just drilled on those over and over again. I think in our case we had to know multiplication tables through 12. So from 1 times 1 up through 12 times 12. And I would go around doing that as well. It was pretty effective. I still remember all of them to this day.
Easy. All the 9s are the same. Look. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9.
Yep.
So 9 times 8.
Yep, you got the whole 9s trick. I also remember learning on your hands, like 9 times 7. If you, I don't know if you can see it, but if you take away, or if you lower your 7th finger, you get 6 and 3. I do remember that trick.
Is 72.
I know an easier way.
What's that?
Memorize it.
Yeah?
Look who's here.
Torvald?
Later, man.
Goodness. Wow. He doesn't even look young enough to really be at that school.
I hope they remember to feed him this morning.
Now remember, people, we have a big math test on Friday. So let's practice our times table, shall we?
Okay.
Let's see. Who shall I ask first? Ron?
I've never heard a teacher say shall like that over and over again. Who shall I ask? Teachers just don't talk like that.
Arnold? Helga? Harold? Torvald! What's 3 times 3?
33.
Torvald, you're 13 years old and you're still in 4th grade.
Oh, okay. So this scene has a lot wrong with it. It's pretty messed up. So she says that, well, the first thing that's wrong is she's allowing all these kids to laugh at him. She should not allow that. And I know she's allowing it because she doesn't even address it. She just walks right past them and says, you're 13 in the 3rd grade, which even if that's true, you would never say that. And that's really, really extreme. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. I mentioned in a couple of other videos that in most states you have a cutoff. In other words, you have an age at which you can no longer go to school, and most students, once they get that over age, they just look for a different option, either a GED or some sort of night school, or nowadays there are many, many other options other than traditional public high school where you can get your high school education. But if he's 13, then he should be in either the 7th or the 8th grade, depending on when his birthday is. And if he's in 3rd grade, that is really, really extreme. Have I heard of examples that extreme before? Yes, I have, but not typically in elementary school. You wouldn't retain someone that many times in elementary school. At least they shouldn't. Now, can they? Yes, technically, yes, they could. But for every year a child is retained, it's less and less likely that they will eventually graduate from high school. So have I seen an age difference like that? Yes. But when you get into high school, once students are that over age, they tend to gravitate toward other non-traditional high school programs other than a public school setting. So in the state of Georgia, the second you turn 22 years old, in other words, you can be 21 and still be in high school. It doesn't happen very often, but technically you could. The second you turn 22 years old, you can no longer go to school. Now, what typically happens happens if a student is that over age, they typically, again, go and look for another option for several different reasons. But let's keep going with the episode.
Don't you want to be with your friends?
You mean in juvenile hall?
Okay, Torvald. There's only one thing I can do. I am going to assign you a study buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is not a bad idea, actually. I don't disagree with that at all. Now, the students are a bit freaked out because no one wants to work with them, but if she sets it up correctly, she sets some parameters for this could be beneficial. I don't disagree with this.
Let's see now. How
Arnold.
about...
It's gonna be Arnold.
Arnold. Perfect. Arnold, you're Torvald's new tutor.
Yeah, and he doesn't look happy about it, which I kind of understand that. But I think Arnold is a great choice. Honestly, he's probably the one that stands the best chance of helping Torvald. Now, in the end, it's going to depend on how receptive Torvald is to this, but let's see how they set it up.
Yep. The way I see it, you're a dead man, Arnold. A total dead man.
Come
Hope
on,
not.
Gerald. It's not gonna be so bad. Deep down, I bet Torvald is a regular kid, just like you and me.
Is he?
I said pay me back that quarter, you little sculpture.
Bullying?
Look,
Do me a favor, Arnold. If he hits you, just lay down.
And he should not be able to be out of sight of the teachers. So elementary school students do typically have some sort of recess or outside time. Different schools call it different things, but they have to be under the supervision of teachers. They're not going to or shouldn't allow him to be around the corner bullying this other kid like that. It's totally unacceptable. What's going on?
okay, spaz boy. Tutor me.
Okay, that's a start.
All right, let's start with percentages. If Farmer Brown has 200 apples and he gives Farmer Black 80 of them,
Yeah, and he's going to have to put it in terms he understands. He's going to have to ditch the farmers and put it, I don't know, into some sort of terms he can understand depending on what he likes. If he's into video games or whatever, he's going to have to switch it up a little bit here, I'm assuming.
what percent of his crop is left?
No, it's not going to work.
Any ideas, Torvald?
Math is bogus.
That's not true, Torvald. If
Yeah,
you
it's
don't know
not.
math, you can't do anything in the real world.
Like what?
Well,
Just lay down.
Uh-oh.
okay. Say you want to work for NASA, but you never learn to count backwards.
10.
Yeah, that's a really bad example. There are plenty of jobs where you do need math, or at the very least, basic arithmetic or even basic algebra. I've come up on some situations where I need nothing complicated. I mean, for just daily life situations. But if you're going to be an engineer or a computer science or any science field, you're going to need some more advanced maths. But I think most of us do use basic arithmetic and maybe some simple algebra or ratios in real life all the time, even if we don't always realize it.
9, 8, 12, 16.
No.
2,
It gets out of the rocket.
0!
Uh-oh.
Or you get a job at the stock
Yeah, that's a really bad example, but it's pretty funny.
market. But you're still having trouble with your pluses and minuses.
Yeah, that would be problematic.
It's a crash! The entire world economy is destroyed!
So then, you get a job in a fast food joint.
Okay,
Okay.
Torvald, fill the napkin dispensers on all tables with numbers divisible by a factor of 3.
Yeah, all these are a bit unrealistic, but even in a diner, you know, especially if you're a cashier, you know, you're going to need simple arithmetic. Now, for just cleaning up, probably not so much, but nevertheless, it is helpful in different situations in life. It's a big diner.
Okay. You made your point. Tonight, my house. Be there.
Wow, okay.
Dead.
Be there or be dead. I think I would tell someone about that before just going over to his house, but I'm guessing he's just going to go over and try to tutor him. And I'm wondering, like, who is at his house? Does he have parents? Do his parents care what he's doing? I guess we're going to find out here.
This is gonna be harder than I thought.
Yeah. At night, also, with the police sirens blaring. And the dog, and the sounds of the police siren, and somebody was hollering and beating on something inside. I think I would turn around and go the other way, but hopefully Arnold's all right. I feel a little bad for Arnold right now. Oh, okay, it's around the corner there.
You must be Arnold. Come on in. Torvy, your friend's here. It's so nice that you and Torvy are getting a chance to study together. You know, Torvald's always had quite a knack for school.
Really?
Really?
Oh, sure. In fact, he wouldn't want me to show you this, but come here. Isn't it beautiful? See how he stayed in the lines? And look, he got a C.
That's really nice, Mrs.
That's really sad. So the mom said he has a knack for school, and myself and Arnold both are like, really? And she said that because she was impressed that he drew like a simple picture. That's sort of sad. And he's 13 in the 3rd grade, which is really, really extreme. I don't know if I've ever heard of that. Now, I've heard of an age gap almost that big, like for in high school, but not in elementary school. I've never heard of that being allowed. That's really extreme. But let's see how his little tutoring session goes.
Torvald's mom?
I'll say he's the best kid a mom could have. Well, I better get to work. Those chicken fingers don't sell themselves, you know.
What?
Bye, son. Make me proud.
Okay.
Come on, study boy.
Your mom sure is nice.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a
I
mess.
like your room.
Suits me.
Okay, we've got 3 days to study, so let's get to work.
Ugh.
We'll start with percentages. Say you want to figure out 20% of something. What would you do first?
Buy a calculator.
Well, say you didn't have a calculator. Then what?
Bullseye!
Well, one thing you could do is draw a picture. Say
Okay.
your dog has 5 puppies. Your mom says you have to give away 80% of them. What have you got left?
One less puppy.
Yeah, I'm wondering, eventually Arnold is going to lose his patience. I'm wondering how long this is going to last here, or if he's going to switch up his approach. Let's find out.
That's it! I'm out of here!
Ooh,
What's
okay.
wrong?
I'm wasting my time, that's what!
Wow.
Best thing he ever did was that drawing that he got a C- on.
Wow. Yeah, so I was about to say, I don't think I've ever seen Arnold that upset or angry. He usually doesn't get angry very easily, but then he does. But then he comes back and he sees this and he's going to kind of feel bad for him. And maybe he'll switch his approach a little bit.
It's funny. Some kids get bugged because their parents think they stink at everything they do. I just wish once in my life I could be half as good as my mom thinks I am.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if you'd study a little harder.
I try, Arnold. I really try.
I'll tell you what, Torvald. You promise to stop beating up my friends, and I'll help you get another C for your mom to put on the refrigerator.
Okay.
You'd do that for me? Arnold, you got yourself a deal.
Look at the size of their hands. That's kind of crazy. Multiplication tables. Ooh. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yeah, so visualizing it does help if you're not familiar with that or familiar with a lot of things that have to do with basic arithmetic or basic mathematical concepts. Kind of visualizing it like Arnold is doing here could be very helpful. I'm wondering if Torvald is going to get any of this. Let's see. Okay. Ugh. Right. If he didn't get 3 times 2, I don't know if he's going to get that, but let's see.
33, 36,
Fingers.
39, 39.
They're all so scared.
It's no use, Arnold. I'll never learn this stuff.
Sure you will, Torvald.
No, I won't. I'm just not smart enough. Hey there, Squelcher. Where's my money?
Well, here, Torvald.
Thanks. Hey, you're short $2.96. A $10 loan over 2 weeks at 8% a day. That's $18.47.
Okay, here.
There you go. So maybe he can do it, but it has to be in terms he can understand or with things he's used to dealing with, like people who owe him money that probably don't really owe him money, but he's extorting them somehow, but he's just bullying them into giving it to him somehow. But let's see what Arnold does with this little information or this discovery.
Crummy little snot.
Torvald, you did it!
Yeah, he did.
Just now. That's math.
Really? Whoa. And all this time I just thought it was business.
Business.
If Joey has 24 teeth and you punch out 3,
Yep. That's what I was thinking to begin with. He started out with farmers and crops, which he's just not going to relate to. But when it comes to money owed and teeth being punched out, apparently he can do math. That's pretty funny.
how many does he have left?
21!
Yeah, it's so funny.
If Farmer Brown fenced that TV for 70 cents on the dollar, what
What?
would he get?
$85.70.
There you go. The thing is, though, the test may not be in those sort of terms, or is Arnold going to help him just sort of change the words and then suddenly he can do the math? I don't know. Let's see what happens.
If you steal lunch money from everybody in the front row, how many chocolate milk could you buy?
17. And a cookie.
Wow. Bully parking only. Fell asleep at his house. What's he doing? Breaking in, that's not good. What is he doing?
3 times 3 is...
33.
What's he doing?
Torvald, you're 13 years
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. This isn't healthy for him, I don't think, either.
old and you're still in 4th grade.
Make me proud, son.
Torvald?
I can't do it, Arnold.
Sure you can. Just
He went straight from doing it perfectly to this kind of attitude. That was quick.
take it one question at a time like we talked about.
Yeah,
Maybe that stuff works for you and the other kids. It just doesn't work for me.
it did.
I'm not smart enough, Arnold.
He was.
Torvald, wait!
He's not there. Uh-oh.
Thank you, Arnold. You can go now.
Miss Slovak, about Torvald.
What about Torvald?
Okay. At least he's there, I
He's
guess.
gonna be a little late.
All right. Now what? See the last one?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Then he can answer the questions. That's all it took. That's funny.
Torvald, how'd you do?
Not so good.
Really?
Psych! I got a C! A C plus!
Psych.
See you later, Arnold. I gotta tell my mom. And thanks for everything, man.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
That worked.
Yee! I did it! I did
Which I don't quite understand, though. Like, he could do all the math, and then he couldn't, and then just showing a kid with one tooth out, magically he could do the problems, even though they weren't quite in those terms. That's a little crazy.
You know, Arnold, you did a good thing helping Torvald pass that test.
Yeah,
You mean because now he knows that he has the power inside himself to succeed no matter what he
probably
tries?
not what he's going to say.
No, because now I don't have to pay him back that quarter I owe him.
You're a real romantic, Gerald.
Thanks, pal. So are you.
All right, well, that's the episode. I enjoyed that one. That was kind of lighthearted. Arnold was able to help him. Like I said, you do have overage kids, but you see that more in middle and high school. Less so in elementary. You might see a child that's maybe 1 year behind, but not usually more than that. This example was really, really extreme, but it's funny whenever Arnold put the math in terms that he was used to dealing with. Sadly, it was things related to bullying, but he could do the math when you put it in terms that he was used to dealing with, which that does work with some students depending on their interests. I'm going to leave the video here, though. I hope you enjoyed watching this one along with me and seeing my reaction. If you'd like me to do more Hey Arnold, please put that in the comments below. I do read all of those, but I hope to see you on the next video, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel already, and I'll see you on the next one here on School Principal Reacts. Thanks for watching.